everyone. Today I am so honored to have with me author Siobhan Cunningham, and her newest book that just came out in July is called The Deal. And I am trying to get a good look at this cover because I love this cover, and it's getting a little bit of a glare. But thank you so much, Siobhan. I am so honored to talk to you. I couldn't wait to talk to you. You are so inspiring to me. And this book, you are self-published, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
I could not put this book down. Okay. First, I had it on my Kindle because you said you were so kind to send it to me, and I carried around my phone like this as I'm doing my work, and then I got the hardcover, hard book and physical book, and your storytelling is amazing.
Oh, thank you, Sylvie. That's lovely.
I couldn't wait to talk to you about it because there's so much packed into this book. And what I love about what you do with the characters and the story that keep it, I kept saying, one more chapter. No, wait, okay, how much is the next chapter? Okay, I got time for one more chapter.
Oh, that's so kind of you. I love you.
So,
thank you.
Before we get started talking, because that's going to be a whole other conversation, let me talk about you, because you have done so much, and that's why when I went on your website and saw everything that you've done in your life, I was like, no wonder she can write like this, because you've done so much, and I just want to hear what you have to say about what you did. I want to hear your version of everything exciting.
Oh. Well, it's okay. I'm quite old, so I've done quite a lot. I call it my accidental life before I got to this life, which is now writing. So, but all my accidental life is making what I'm writing about, and I'm so blessed to have done it. Okay, I left school. I went to boarding school at the age of 8 for 8 years in Ascot in Berkshire with some nuns. So we were locked away for 8 years. And then I came out and I just wanted to become a lawyer. And I went to court a lot, and I studied law a little bit, and I found that court wasn't that great. The justice wasn't always there, so I was a bit. I got discovered by a guy who said he wants to be my model agent. So I did modelling for about 5 years in London, fashion modelling, doing shows around the world, which was nice. But I should have studied to be a lawyer, but I didn't. I did the modelling route. And then I did a music video for a musician, and I got together with him for 8 years, and we had a beautiful child called Scarlett, and he's a sax player. He did the sax on Baker Street. He was with the Pink Floyd when I met him, and Marvin Gaye, Tina Turner. Yeah, but yeah, he was a great sax player. Ralph Ravenscroft, and we had beautiful Scarlett, who's now 30, and sadly he's passed away recently. So, but we split up when she was about 7, so I brought her up on my own. But and then I married again a bit later. But after the music business, I did 8 years of music to film with him, and we had a recording studio in Oxford Circus, and we did pop music or lots of different stuff, jingles, film music. But the film music got me, and I've always love film, visual stuff. So that I carried forward into what I write now. I write with film in mind, and making film from the book. So I carried that bit forward from about my time, 8 years with him. And then we split up, and London is a bit small to stay in the music industry. I could have stayed in, but there's only about 10 major studios in London, and you'd bump into your ex, so it's not that comfortable. So I thought, I'll get into something else when I split up with him. And I went into football. For God's sake, I didn't know anything about football, but I got involved in football, and I worked with Chelsea Football Club, which is a Premiership club over here in the UK. I don't know if you've heard of it. Maybe it's one of the bigger clubs, but it was a lovely couple of years hanging out within the football world. And then I worked within sports management, and we looked after sports celebrities like footballers, cricketers, rugby players, tennis players, and so I lived in that little world within the sports management. So I learned how they, shift, shake throughout their work, how the marketing goes, how the deals are made, how the things that happen behind the scenes, the things that are kept out of the press, the things that are allowed in the press, the deals that are done to keep, celebrities, within the right realms, as it were, protecting them. So I learned a lot then of sort of scandal and stuff. So then I went on to, what did I do? I worked within horse racing as well, which was another interesting time. I worked for a company that owned about 14 race courses in the UK, so I worked in events like the Derby, Royal Ascot, things like that. I worked looking after the VIPs and that sort of level of putting on events and things within horse racing. And that was another mix of amazing, intelligent, colourful people and lots going on behind the scenes. So fodder, everything's been fodder for books, to be honest, and I didn't realise it at the time, but I was just working my arse off, being a single mum in London trying to keep my girl through school. And then I got a bit fed up working for the rich, so I thought I'd work for the poor for a bit. I line the pockets of the poor. So I worked in, sorry, I'm speaking fast because I'm a bit bored talking about myself, so I'm going to get this out of the way quick. So I worked for a children's charity and putting money into orphanages and medicines and everything, and HIV clinics, etc., for children in Africa and places like that. So I did about 1.5 years of working within that industry and learned a lot there. What else did I do? Then I got into crime. I went off to the coast, went off to the south coast. My girl had finished university, so I thought I don't need to stay in London near her university anymore. I can travel. So she's grown up. She doesn't need me too much to keep a roof over her head or anything. And I went to the coast to write books. This is because that was always I had a niggling in the background to do that. And I came down to the coast, on the Sussex coast in the UK, which is the south coast. And I thought I'd take on a little part-time job working, in an office somewhere while I write my books quietly by the sea, little reclusive woman, But then I worked for the police, and before I knew it, I was trained up, and then before I knew it, I was doing intelligence analyst and major crime team and murders and working for as a crime investigator for them. For the last 4 or 5 years, I've been working as an investigator. So all of these things, my accidental life that I've been thrown into just to survive, have all helped with putting together these books.
You know what?
Phew.
You could write
That's
a very cool memoir. Okay.
I don't like talking about myself, so I probably won't do that. Someone else have to do that. Oh, no.
I know.
And also, I've signed the Official Secrets a few times. I've signed the Official Secrets Act a few times. So with the celebrities, I had to sign it there. And with the police, I've signed it a few times there. So I can't really, talk too much about anything. But they have all educated me in life. And I'm grateful to every single moment with all of them.
That's absolutely. And that's what I was saying about your storytelling in this book. I mean, you just take it from character to character and time and place. And I never got confused, which sometimes I do. Sometimes I get lost but it was very clear. But the one thing the questions that I, which why I talk to authors is because I always have questions. But tell me about this world between worlds that you've created, because it is really cool. I mean, you kind of want to believe that when you said that you didn't do law because of the justice part, I was like, well, that kind of makes sense because this book is about justice. You took law
I mean, that seems to be the thing, the vein that goes through my life is always looking for justice. The world. Well, it started because when I was about 4, I was taken by somebody, a male in the street. I lived in southern England. I was taken by a guy, and I got away. The following week, apparently, I was only about 4, so I wasn't really conscious of everything that was happening. But apparently, the following week, another little girl got taken, and she didn't survive. So she died. So I always had this thing as a little girl. I'm an Irish Catholic family. My parents are Dublin, Wicklow. I went to bed every night saying a dream. I did a deal with God. I said, if I was a good girl, God, do you think you could let me sit on a cloud for 6 months? Or a time limit, and look after the people on the ground, because with all the baddies that slip through your fingers, can I catch them? Right. So I had this little prayer every night: God, please can I sit on a cloud, be invisible, and to protect the people that you can't protect. So that was a little thing that has always been in my head, and I probably stopped that about the age of 10 maybe. But it seems to be a vein that's gone through with my doing the charity work with the children, doing the police work, doing some of the jobs I've done. I always seem to be looking after the underdog or wanting to protect the underdog or sort out the baddie. So really this world came from that dream. So the deal, which is the series you're talking about, the Fallen Angel series, is the first one in it. This girl has a similar dream or prayer with deal with God, and she forgets about the deal. She forgets about God. She grows up. She becomes a young girl, busy working in marketing in London. 30 years of age, she dies unexpectedly, suspiciously, and finds herself waking up in a place in the sky which is like an MI5 sort of high-tech unit place with loads of other people who've done the same deal as her. So it's cool. It's what I want to do. I'm going to keep God to my deal, because I'd like to do that when I pop my clogs. I like to go up there and sort out a few baddies. But that's how it came around, and it's and I've studied a lot of things around it. Like I've looked into crystals, or I've looked into white witches, or cards and tarot and old English folklore and folklore within other parts of the world, just to see how people think about what's up there, and different religions and things. And so I've mixed in a lot of, because I'm quite open to. I'm not very religious particularly. I miss out the middleman and pray alone if I'm going to pray. I don't have any particular vein, but I do believe there's something up there that's looking after us. So I'm banking on it. There's something happening. There's something, and every now and then I see a little white feather that pops to the ground in front of me, and I think, whoa, maybe that's someone looking after me. So I put that in the book as well. I've just put all my favourite things within here, and of course the delicious man that she, there's always got to be a delicious man, and so there's a mix of everything, really.
Yeah, there really is, and it's so. I mean, I have to say, as an American girl woman, I love English writers. I love English women writers, and for a while, I had a streak of English women writers that I could actually pick up a book and be like, oh my gosh, it's an English. I know she's English. I just know it because. And I say this in the vein of making every American writer mad at me, but there is a way to your storytelling that I feel like in our school, like I don't know the differences, but it seems to me that you guys get a different kind of English upbringing or a way to tell stories that I cannot put a book down. Okay, so I don't know what that is, but it seems to be a consistent running theme for me. And I'm always like, of course she's English, because this story I cannot put down. Like, I don't know. It's like,
maybe you were an English writer in your last life, and that's why you're so in tune with English writers. Maybe that was something.
English. I am.
Oh, well, then there you go. You've got a little link with us.
I am.
But that's good for us.
As a matter of fact, there is a town in England that we have the coat of arms for that I always want to go to. Like, I've never been to England, but I want to go there. And because supposedly there's a town, I don't even know where it is, but it's my last name. And we have this, like, coat of arms that everybody passed around in my family. So I am half English.
Oh, right. So that's where your link is. You've got a bit of blood going on there.
I do
that's
have
why
a bit of blood.
That's why you get our madness, because we are a little mad.
No, but it's the worlds you create, and even with like Girl on the Train, like even with stories like that, but more importantly, these worlds that I get into, and it seems like you can, J.K. Rowling, and you could go on and on, like they create these worlds, and I was in this world, like I felt like I was a part of it, and it all made sense to me, and that's why I love the book so much and wanted to talk to you. Now, I have not read your first, the David trilogy
is another thing. It's another thing altogether. It's a bit naughty, and it's a bit of a psychotic. It's a sexy psychotic thriller. It's a bit naughty. Okay. There's humour in it. It's a mix of 50 Shades and a writer. Apparently, I'm told 50 Shades and Martina Cole is a fantastic thriller writer that we have in the UK. I don't know if you've heard of her, but she's just amazing. Great psychotic thriller type gangland stuff. So it's a thriller mixed in with 50 Shades. And have you heard of Ab Fab? Absolutely Fabulous? No, I don't suppose you have. It's an English series here. They've got a sort of they've got a humour. It's an English woman humour thing going on. So it's a mixture of those three things. It is a bit naughty. It does come with a warning, that David trilogy.
It's a little,
but and I will send it to you just in case you're feeling, you can cope with it.
I will. I definitely want to read it. And I have found that on Facebook, it's very funny because of all the English women that I've interviewed. My Facebook is filled with all you guys' posts, and I'm starting to understand the humor. Like at first I was like, what are they talking about?
Do you know, I've been married a couple of times, and my second husband was a Texan, and so I lived in Texas a little bit, Dallas.
I have kids that live in Texas.
Pardon?
I have 2 children live in Texas. Where did you live?
I don't met them in other parts of the US, but the women there were really gutsy and quite ballsy, and I quite enjoyed them. I think they've got the balls over there. I think the women humour. They wear the bling. They come into the room and go, "Hi, I'm here. Look at me, honey. I've arrived." Whereas the English, we're a little bit. We might sneak into a room and sort of apologise before we speak. Sorry. Oh, we're a bit apologetic. Whereas the American women just right in your face. I love them.
Yeah, I found that I have 4 grandchildren that live in Texas, and when I visit them, I'm going to visit them in like 2 weeks, but they're all getting a little bit of that Texas twang to them. And it's so cute because they're just little kids, but when I hear them talk, I'm like, oh my gosh, how do you have that act? But of course they do because they live there. But
it's nice. I liked it.
Yeah,
I like the balls. Yeah, the attitude. Anything you can achieve anything, and everything's so big out there. They didn't understand a word I said. I have to admit, my husband had to translate every time I went to a restaurant or something. They didn't know what a jacket potato. Do you know what a jacket potato is? No.
Is it a baked potato?
Yeah. For us, it's a baked potato. But they didn't understand my terminology. But he was a translator for me, so it's all right.
That's really funny that you're married to a Texan, though, because they do have a different way of talking. Like, it is almost like another language, but it's not. It's like it's a very different way of speaking. So.
Yeah, and it's very sing-song. It's y'all. It's like so chilled, and I enjoyed my time with them. It's nice.
Yeah, my daughter tells me, like, when I'm walking with her, she's like, you walk too fast. You have to slow down. We don't rush in Texas. We walk slow. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. I'm an East Coast girl. We walk fast.
It's as if they know how to take it all in and enjoy, It's sort of simpler, bigger. Yeah. Happy. I don't know. There's a magic, and I'm not going to question it.
Oh, fast. Everything's just got to be very quick, So.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you were putting together this book, are you one of those people that like totally outlines the book, or do you just write? Because I was thinking with this book specifically, I don't ask every author that, but when I'm reading a book, like I feel like the story, like to keep track of the story, you've got to have an outline somewhere, so you don't forget where you are with the different storylines.
I think of a place and a character, and I put them together, and I put them in a scenario, and then it just unrolls from there. I don't have I know lots of. I'm a bit maybe a weird one, but I know people plot out the things, beginning, middle, and end. But if I do that and I know what the end is, I'm so bored. I don't want to bother writing it. I've got to really not know what's happening and be as excited with it as the person who's reading it. So it just forms as I go, and then I get to wherever I am, and I think, oh my God, supposing I do that, supposing oh God, I got it so, and then right to the last page, I don't know what's happening, and then something happens. So I'm excited by it every page because I don't know what's going to be next. If I had it plotted, I'd be bored.
Yeah, and I'm hearing that more and more from people, like because I think before it was always about you had to have an outline. It had to be a certain outline. It had to be, you basically had to know how to outline to be able to write. And a lot of authors start getting bored with the outline. Like, I don't want to write according to the outline.
Well, because it takes out the magic, I think.
Yeah.
The spontaneity goes.
Yeah, and as you're writing it,
because all you're thinking is, right, I've got them here and I want to get them. They're going to be in that room next. So how do I get them to that room next? I just want them to fling to that and so every page is a excitement. I don't want to, because I'll be just working about how to get into that room in that particular position. And go, oh, that's so dull.
So even
maybe I'm weird.
You're not just jumping characters, but you're jumping time. So even when you jump, like
that's hard.
You don't, you remember where you were with that timeline. Like you can just wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, well, it makes it difficult for myself because I have to keep reading the whole thing again and again and again sometimes just to go where I am when I start in the day. I've got to read the whole. There's a lot of rereading over. It's a tough thing to do.
Right.
Work on heaven and earth, as it were. It's not really heaven, but work in the two places because the stories are going like that.
What do you call that place? It's not heaven.
Oh, it's an in-betweener, isn't it? It's surfing in between.
Okay. So, Okay, so you have, like, you work during the day. You have a job. And then do you just write at night? Or do you write, like, how
Um,
do you do that?
you know, I was working full time and doing it in my days off and on my holidays. So I'm a bit of a recluse. And for the last 10 years, these books have been taken over my life. I don't really do much else but these, as well as my day job. But I've just gone part time with the day job. So now I'm more, it's more now the writing every day,
Right.
which has just been brilliant. So I'm able to churn out stuff much quicker.
Yeah.
But it is tough doing both. You have to give up something in life, and I've given up probably,
Is that
being outgoing.
right? I mean, is that your goal? Do you want to be able to write full time? Like, basically,
Yeah,
just can you do? Yeah, you do.
and adapt to film. The ultimate goal is they're all a series.
I know. I can so see this, and it makes sense
Yeah,
that you've done screenwriting because I mean, as you read more books, you can almost tell if the person has a screenwriting background because it would be really easy to convert this over to a screenplay. You know?
yeah. It's nice because you can hand it to a director, a film director, or an actor, and say, right, here you go. And obviously you've set up the way it looks, smells, tastes, feels. The work is done for the director. So it's like a film script, but in a book.
Yeah,
So
I
that's
feel
what we
like
do.
you have a lot of in England. I don't know if it's just in London, but do you have a lot of like book? I don't want to say book fairs because it's not really a fair, but like with authors that you get together and like discuss your books, and I mean clubs,
Yes,
maybe like a club. You do. You have a
yes.
lot. It seems like
There
you
are
do.
lots. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. There are lots. They're little groups of people that get together in the town or in an area, and they meet up and they discuss and they give each other courage and teach each other how to do marketing and publishing and things like that. I did try to join one, but I didn't have enough time to put into it because I was doing too much. So I'm a bit of a loner.
Yeah. But I do love seeing.
But they are very beneficial to a lot of people.
Yeah, I do love seeing that on Facebook. I feel like what I've learned from interviewing authors is that the author world, they're just so willing to give the advice. Like, I
Yeah,
did it like this and I found out this didn't work. You know, like the marketing
yeah,
part specifically. You know, like
yeah,
this doesn't work, but then I joined this and this kind of works. You guys all like kind of stick
yeah.
together in that sense of helping each other with marketing and Facebook, you know, the different social media platforms.
Yes, I think it's because a lot of them don't have literary agents. They're trying to learn in this new publishing era of self-publishing. They're trying to learn how to do it on their own. So it's a big learning curve for all of them. And so they're putting all their things together and learning from each other and helping each other. And it's quite a lonely business writing. So
Mm.
it's probably a nice way to meet people too.
True. So this cover, which is so amazing, and I'm gonna, even though people can see it in the background too, but
Yeah, yeah.
how did you get this cover done? Because I think it's just so, I don't know,
Actually, I
people
found
can
I found a
see
guy in
it.
the States called Mike who's it's $10.com, and he customized it for me. I get told in the basic storyline, and he customized it
Wow.
into. He's just so incredible. So it's the first of 8, that one. So he's going to do all 8 books. And now I'm revamping the David trilogy, and he's working on the David trilogy books at the moment. So they will all have that same vibrancy that he's created. So yeah, my covers are done in the States, and my editor, she's in the States as well. So yeah, I like the American energy that comes in.
Well, and that's another awesome thing about doing your own books is that people used to say if you self-publish that you're not going to get a top quality cover, you're not going to get, the editing's going to be off. But now artists are
No.
able to make that a whole business for themselves, and they're like, "Well, I'll give you a
Yes.
good cover." And I've seen more
Yeah.
and more amazing covers from self-publishers because
Yeah.
now it's a whole new thing. You know,
It's so
it's not like
exciting,
it used to be.
and it's an art, I think, in itself, doing the covers, because I was a bit nervous
Yes.
going to another person to get my covers done. But Mike, he just understands, and I
Yeah.
give him a brief outline of what I want. A writer knows what she sort of wants, but I know what feelings I want to come through. And he had a difficult one here because he had to mix, up, above and below,
Right.
and I think he's mixed it quite well and given it an um, urban feel, and a bit, modern contemporary, and a bit, and a little bit sexy because they look delicious. Yeah, there's a high energy going on in there, and he's nailed it. And putting angel wings on somebody, because I don't really call them angels, they're not, they're vigilante type people
Right.
up there. He's my lead is an ex-SAS boy who's a bit naughty. They don't live by the rules. They're a bit naughty.
Yes.
But putting angel wings on there was a big decision, because you might cut out, if someone sees the cover, they might think, oh no, it's an angel book. I'm not really into angels, you know. But I'm trying to spread the good karma, so we'll see. So it was a brave move putting them on, but we'll see. You find out actually that so many people are into angels, and I didn't even know, you know. Yeah, there's a huge market, paranormal market out there. Absolutely. And it's exciting to pass on the good energy. That's what I feel I'm doing in a bit of a naff way, but yeah.
Yeah, because what I love about them the most, I mean, as characters, was that they are like, they've been given this chance to do it a certain way, and they're like, okay, well, that's awesome, but we also have our own way that we kind of want to do it. And how you weave that into the story, it's like they're like rebellious, you know, they're rebellious,
they're a bit naughty.
Yeah, they're a bit naughty. It's like, there's rules, but then they're like, well, which rules can we get around, and which ones can we you know, kind of make work for us? You know,
there was a big one. It was a big one. Them making love up there. I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know whether the place was going to blow up or what. I didn't know if angels were allowed to do that. So, you know, even if as I was doing it, I was thinking, oh my gosh, how's this going to turn out? You know, and you sort of wait for the explosion, but no, it's okay.
It's okay. They can do that. No, it's like,
it's okay.
How cool is it that they can not be, you know, like they can be in this in between world. Oh, and they still get to have sex. It's like, oh my God, it's perfect. It's a perfect world.
I'm so going up there. Because they don't get any illnesses. Yeah. Everything's cool. They can eat as much as they like, honey, and no weight.
That's another thing. They still get to eat. There were all kinds of cool things that they can still do. So I'm so happy that you're continuing. I mean, I knew when I saw that it was going to be a series, but I didn't even know there was going to be 8 of them. So I can't wait. Yeah. And I really do want to read the David series, because I love your writing.
Well, do you know what? The David trilogy, I've done the first 2. The Penances and Unfinished Business. I'm working on the 3rd one, which is For My Sins. And David is such a great, juicy character that I didn't want to kill him off. In a trilogy, it's got to end, hasn't it? And my 3rd book, I'm just having difficulty getting it out. So what's happened now is, because of the Fallen Angel series, Jack here, my SAS boy, has been charged with looking after this particular creature on Earth called David. So now I've managed to link them up. So my David character is now going into the Fallen Angel series. I don't know if it's cool or not, but I'm linking up the 2 series, and I'm keeping who I want. Because it's my world, I can do what I want.
You can do whatever you want.
But so I'm linking the 2 series up in this. Yeah, so now my boy carries on, and he's looked after by Jack, who has a very hard time because he's a bit of a bad boy.
Well, now I definitely have to read it, because I can't wait to read the others, and I want to know where that's going. But please keep me in touch with that, because I really want to be, like, I want to know when the other ones are coming out, and I want to be able to read them right away, because I like reading them right away.
They're a bit sexy and a few swear words, you know, be careful. Close the bedroom door and read alone, you know, that sort of thing.
Well, thank you, Siobhan, and everyone. This is the first in the Fallen series, and it is called The Deal, and you can see it right there, and you can see the poster back there. It was so much fun talking to you. I am so glad to know you, and I can't wait to read your other books.
Thank you. It was lovely talking to you too.
Yeah, and we'll keep in touch, okay? Thank you.
I will. Bye-bye now.
Bye.